Hey folks, this is a man once again with another review of a film that really surprised me. It's another film that Exodus One had sent me from the UK, which I want to thank him once again for his generosity. And I want to thank him for sending me this, because I would not have seen this film without him. Because the cover of the film didn't interest me, and that film is Body Double. And this is the cover of the film, and the cover of the film I'm like, okay, what is this? Is this like I thought it was gonna be like Fatal Attraction, or I thought it would be more like Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction, Jagged Edge, uh, those kind of films, and just like the little stuff in The Specialist with Stallone and Sharon Stone, and you know, those are the films that don't really interest me the most, to be honest. I don't know why, it doesn't. But this one was a lot better than I thought it would be. If you don't, if the cover, I mean, it makes it seem like it's a porn film, or it makes it seem like it's just softcore cinematic stuff. But disregard that, and you get a really good thriller. Now, the first thing is this is directed by Brian De Palma. Now, Brian De Palma is a director that I fairly like a lot of his films. Not all films, but if I look through the list of films, you got Carrie. Blowout, I remember being a really good film with John Travolta. That's another film I had in my collection, Blowout. I remember Blowout being a really good film. Scarface, which actually the year before this film, he had done Scarface. Scarface was 83, and this came out in 84. And then you have The Untouchables, Casualties of War. I love Casualties of War. Mission Impossible. I do like Mission Impossible. Snake Eyes. I don't mind Snake Eyes too much, to be honest. I don't mind Snake Eyes too much. Mission to Mars wasn't the biggest fan of, to be honest. His big fly was probably The Bonfire of the Vanities in 1990. But either way, from time to time I like Brian De Palma's stuff. I haven't seen Dress to Kill. The Fury, the only thing I remember I liked was the ending. Wise Guys, honestly, that was a film I was not a big fan of, to be perfectly honest. Raising Cain, I saw it once, but I don't remember it too much. Carlito's Way, I've not seen. But anyway, Body Double, being directed by Brian De Palma, it's definitely well directed. I know Brian De Palma gets chastised a lot by saying, well, the guy just rips off Alfred Hitchcock. But, wise man once said, if you don't rip off someone, rip off the best. But, hey, if it works, it works. I mean, not many people try to do Hitchcock anymore. So maybe, more people should try that and bring that back, because it's actually interesting filmmaking. Now, I know Body Double was kind of another of his ode to Alfred Hitchcock. Because, you get a little bit of Rear Window, you get a little bit of Vertigo, and a little bit of Dial M for Murder as well. Yeah. The tagline is, you can't believe everything you see. I guess this film actually got scandalized. Like, it was a big scandal when this film came out. It flopped big time. $10 million budget, $8 million gross. Yeah, and it got a lot of crap for some reason. Brian De Palma earned a Razzie Award for nomination for Worst Director. So I don't understand why they. I guess this film was actually referenced a lot in the novel for American Psycho. I don't remember them saying that in the movie, but I guess in the novel they reference this film. But anyway, what this film is about is it stars Craig Wasson. Now, Craig Wasson is a guy you do know. This guy here, he was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. Now, in The Dream Warriors, if you remember the older doctor guy who had a thing for Nancy, And at the end, he was with John Saxon in the junkyard. He got hit, but he buried Freddy's bones, and he had the cross and the holy water. He buried Nancy. That's Craig Wasson. And he did a really good job in that film. He did a great job here as the lead. I think this was before. Yeah, this was before Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Because Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, I think, came out in '84. So, but he did a really good job in this flick. I mean, basically, he's an actor. Like, he's doing this part, trying to be like a vampire in a film, but he's in a coffin, and he has a bit with claustrophobia, which I think is Brian De Palma's take on Vertigo. So instead of the guy being afraid of heights, this guy is afraid of, tight spaces. And actually, the director is Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue, among other stuff. And he's like, no, I can do it, then I can do it at the end. Later on, he finds out he's been fired for it. And then one day, he meets this guy during an acting, kind of like their acting teaching class type of thing. And the actor's name, Gregg Henry. This is a guy, if you remember in Slither, the asshole mayor type of guy, he was actually pretty funny. But he's kind of like the I think he was the mayor. I'm not sure if he was the mayor or something like that of the town. He's very funny. I mean, Gregg Henry, if you see his face, you know who I mean. Invites him to stay at his place. Very good-looking place. I mean, it's like the bed will go around in a circle slowly, and he actually tells him he has like this telescope, and if he looks at it, there's a really sexy woman. You get some lot of, titties in there too. You definitely get a lot of nudity in this film. I guess this film got scandalized. Something about I don't know if it's because of the nudity. Is because later on you get a little bit of the porn industry involved and trying to legitimize the porn industry. Or I don't know if it was them just trying to fry Brian De Palma because the year before he had done Scarface, which some critics fired on as well. But Craig Wasson keeps looking at this girl from time to time. And, he's looking. And all of a sudden he finds out there's this weird guy, I think like an Indian guy, watching her. And he like follows her around, wants to help her, protect her. And as the film goes on, one thing leads to another, and she gets murdered. Really bad way. Like, when I mean bad, I don't mean like the guy has like a gigantic fucking drill. Like, this is like a big ass drill. Like, you have to hold it like this, and there's a long fucking drill. But let me put it this way: the way it's done, you see enough, it makes it more horrifying. I don't want to give it away. I know, weird, but I don't want to give it away. The way it's shown and how Craig Wasson sees it, it's not like a torture porn thing, or it's not like, I don't know, you don't see the actual penetration, but you see enough of it, especially when how Craig Wasson sees it. I don't know how to, I don't want to give it away. And then, yeah, she did some twists and turns, which I don't want to give away. I know it's rare that I do that. But it leads to Melanie Griffith. And Melanie Griffith actually plays a porn actress. So you definitely see some stuff that. So it's definitely worth seeing Melanie Griffith play a porn actress called Holly Body. And she's somehow involved with it. And then it goes to the ending. And then after the ending, there's kind of a funny bit during the end credits, which I won't give away. But definitely check this film out. This film, I get the Vertigo bit where instead of heights, the guy's afraid of tight spaces. The rear window bit I get because he's watching this girl. The dial-in for murder, I just have to watch the film to realize how that comes into play. But it just has some good twists and turns, but it doesn't fuck with the audience. It makes sense. It kept me interested. I really liked the performances. Craig Wasson was really great. Melanie Griffith, when she gets in, she's really good. Gregg Henry. Everybody did a good job. You definitely got your nudity in there. Yeah, a little bit of blood. But it was just a really... That's how you do a thriller. Brian De Palma really did a good job with this in Blowout, too. Like Alfred Hitchcock, in Blowout and this film, he really pulls you into the film. He gets you involved with the film. You know, it really is that aspect of a thriller that can really keep you engaged when it pulls you in and kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen next. And with really good performances, especially by the lead guy, and really interesting story that was being told. Some nice twists and turns that I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But it wasn't like, what the fuck? That came out of nowhere. It was just really surprisingly good movie. And this is the nice thing about, you know, someone being nice sending me stuff, is this is a film I never would have thought of. Because again, I thought it was something from Skinamax, which, you know, I don't mind Skinamax, but it's not like I can say they were high art. But this is a really good film. Really good thriller. So, you know, despite what the cover may look like, and this was, of course, the UK, so it may just be like this, that's the cover. Definitely check out the movie. If you want a really good thriller, if you're at all interested in Brian De Palma films, if you like thrillers in the Hitchcock vein, check this film out. This is a really good thriller. I highly recommend this film. Solid story, told very well. But that's Body Double. So either way, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you later. Ciao.